Hey everybody, welcome to a Minecraft mod review on the Minor Alchemy mod by Guff, the mod author. He's a cool guy because he created this awesome mod that we are going to review today. So what this mod is about is a little bit of alchemy. It's not got a ton of alchemy, like, it's minor. It's not like mining like that, but minor as in small, like this pig. Not that small, but anyway, alchemy has a couple meanings, I guess. One of which is kind of like brewing potions, but it's not about that. It's about like transmuting items, and like originally it was supposed to be like lead into gold, but it can really be like anything into anything. And that's what this is about. So there's three kind of parts to this. There's the core part and there's two expansions. You don't actually have to install anything else for these expansions. They're just you just have to enable them in the configuration file. Actually, I think that might be enabled by default, and you have to disable them. So this is really the main thing you're going to have to make in the core mod, the alchemizer. That's the crafting recipe there. And it looks kind of cool. So you can see it has this little inventory here. Every item in the game, or most items at least, have a CV value. So we'll take a look at a diamond, for example. So if we go in here, we can see a diamond has 16,384 CV. And CV is basically what we use to create other items. So if we take a look, iron has 1,024 CV. So we can put a diamond into here. And all of its CV, you can put as many items as you can fit in here. And all of their CV will go into one alchemical matter container. And you can see how much CV it stores. And we can put it here, and if we put an iron ingot here, it'll make another iron ingot and use 1024 CV from here. Ta-da! Use a little bit, and we can just make as much as we want. Shift clicking doesn't give you as much, so we can get 16. I guess we get exactly 16 iron from one diamond. So yeah, that's cool, and vice versa. You don't have, you can put it in one stack. I don't really know why I did that, but you can see that's 16,384. So there's no loss. We can just get our diamond back if we want. So no loss at all. It's all equivalent. And you can even like combine matter containers. You can make one matter container out of another. So this one has 33,792. So yes, we can make that one out of that. So yeah, that one has less now. We'll just combine them all into one. Brilliant. So that is the core mod. One other thing to note is that these can actually be different colors, and the color basically just kind of determines how much they're storing. So you can see with a ton of block of diamonds, it's a lighter color. So if we put in more, you can see it just gets lighter and lighter. And just kind of like shifting colors. I don't know if it's getting lighter, but it just shifts colors. And the last color is white, and after you get to white, it won't change anymore. And I guess I could show you. I don't really know if you need to see it, but I think 2 blocks of diamond should do the trick. Yeah, white. Oh. So that is the core part of Minor Alchemy. If you want a simpler mod, you can stop there, and that's pretty basic. Or if you want a little more in-depth, you can take a look at the Rejuvenation Expansion. Oh yeah. So this adds 1 block and 1 item that you can craft anyway. There's a couple more items that you get, just like this is an item that you can get. So the block here is the Rejuvenator, which is what it's named after. That's how you craft it. And let's take a look. So the Rejuvenator is kind of like a alchemical anvil in a way. It can enchant, it can repair. So let's see. The Rejuvenator can repair items or tools, I guess. So this flint and steel would probably be worth more CV if it was at full durability. It's at 34 out of 64, and it's fully repaired for a cost of 337. And if this was at 1 durability, and we repaired it, it'd be significantly cheaper than making a new one in terms of CV. So yes, we did that, and we used a little bit of CV. And flint and steel may seem like a weird choice. I'm not sure if this is a bug, but most tools don't seem to have a CV value. But it's not really a problem because in the configuration value, you can set the CV value for any item, which also allows you to give CV values to items from other mods. And I think the mod author is working on creating some pre-made configuration files with CV values for popular mods. I'm not sure if he has any yet, or I know he has one, but I forget what it is. So yeah, configurable things. And if you wanted, you could just be like cheap and make, I don't know if it lets you do this, but you probably could just make like diamonds worth 1 and then cobblestone worth like 10 million and just turn it into that. But you know, that's your choice if you don't want to do it. If you just, I don't really know why you'd want to do that. It's not fun. So yeah, config files. So the other thing you can do with this, which is kind of like an anvil, is enchant. So I don't think you can enchant a flint and steel. You might be able to. So we'll just, wait, actually, this is a good, what we'll do is we'll show the other item from the Rejuvenation Expansion, which is the scroll package. You saw, we craft it like that. And basically what it does is you right click it and it gets used up if you're in survival. And it gives you a bunch of scrolls. And this is every enchantment in the game. And if you have mods installed that add new enchantments, it'll give you those too. And these will never get used up unless you lose them. But they don't have a CV value, so you'll never be able to get them back unless you make a whole nother scroll package. So I think a good thing to put on our sword would be sharpness. Where's sharpness? There it is. So how you do that is you put the sword on this side, not this side. This is the repairing side. And you put that down there. And that has sharpness 8. And basically, if this thing didn't have so much CV in it, it probably wouldn't be as high. This is the cost of it. So if this one just had a little bit in it, it might only be sharpness 1 or 2. If you didn't, maybe you wouldn't even have enough to do sharpness 1. But if we use this one, because what it'll automatically do the highest level it can make. So unfortunately, it can only go up to sharpness 10. I think it'd be pretty funny because with something this much, I think I could get like, I don't know how high we could actually get because I don't know the math formula. But bam, there we go. And it's that barely scratched its CV. I bet we could get like really high sharpness on there. But you know, sharpness 10, it's fine. Sure, we can one-shot most things that aren't bosses. It actually says plus 7 attack damage. I thought it edited it. I thought it changed the attack damage, but whatever. So that is basically how the Rejuvenator works. Now the last expansion here is Arbitration, which adds, I guess my inventory is kind of cluttered here, but it adds an arbitrator because it's arbitration. We'll get to the other thing in a second. So the arbitrator, the third of these cool-tastic machines, by the way, this is the crafting recipe, and this is an alchemizer here. Oh, also these alchemical matter containers have to have that specific CV value there, which is 2 diamonds. I'm not sure if it changes if you edit the config file, because it'd be kind of weird if you wanted to, like if you kept the ratios the same, but because then these wouldn't cost very much. Well, I don't even know. But anyway, it's roughly 2 diamonds, depending on the thing. And how this works is it's arbitration, like arbitrary is random. So this generates random items. So you can put any item in here, and it uses 10% of it. So that's 10% of that. And every time it's just going to use 10%, and it's going to generate completely random items. Completely. So every time it's just using 10%, and the items are going to get worse and worse probably. I mean, if you're, depending on your luck, obviously. Because you can see that, like our first one, which by probability should be the best, isn't that good. Maybe we did get 3 of it. So yeah, now this thing, we could still keep going, except that it has a limit, and you can't use really bad items. Like, I forget what it is. I think it might be around 20,000, and you can't use matter containers that have less than that. So the CV that it drains out of this is not at all proportional to what items you get. So it's just random. You might get better items than the CV value or might get worse. It's a bit of a gamble. So you can see that our third item is probably better than our first item. And my watch is beeping, and I'll be right back when it stops beeping. Beep, 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 beep. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So one more thing to note about the Arbitrator is that if its inventory fills up, you can place chests around it, as many as you want. You could have it on all 6 sides, and it'll start filling it up. So I think it might not be too profitable to use really valuable things, because I don't really think there's many items that are worth more than a tenth of this. Yeah, so it might be better to use ones that are lower and see what kind of items you can get. And honestly, I don't know how good this is. This might just be good to get items you don't have. I mean, if you want to duplicate an item you have, you're probably better off using the alchemizer. Let's just see what we get from this, just for fun. Oh, right. The more valuable the thing is, the longer the process takes. So maybe I'll just cut the video and come back when this is done and just see what it created. So the last part of this, we've seen all the machines and we've seen everything from these ones. So the last part of the arbitration thing is a new set of tools. I just showed the pickaxe here. And it's Proliferium, which I thought it was just called alchemical tools, but Proliferium works too. It's good. It's a nice random name. And basically all the tools are crafted as you normally would, but with these. And the CV has to be 2048. Or I know for a fact that it has to do with the config value, because it has to be twice of what iron is, which is, if you remember, is 1024. So you can't make armor out of it, but you can make every sort of tool. So if I go into game mode 0 here, I can just mine for a bit, and you can see that's not the greatest tool in the world. Probably not worth 6 iron for the pick. Alright, I'm back. I just mined out a little area here. And if anything, this pickaxe is looking pretty even worse. Like, why is this worth so much? Well, if you look, it actually is worth. Its stats went down. And that's what it does. Its stats degrade as it gets less durability. But one thing you'll also note about its stats is that its durability looks to be a little bit more. So its max durability actually goes up as you use it. So what we can do is we can repair it, not enchant it. We can repair it, and it has full durability now, and its stats are just a little bit better, because the more durability it has, the better its stats are. And the only way to repair it, you can't repair it with a normal anvil or anything, or in your crafting table. You have to use that thing to repair it. So to get the full use out of this thing, you're going to want to have the Rejuvenation Expansion on, as well as the Arbitration. So I don't really know why you wouldn't want to have all the expansions. I think they're all pretty cool. And even if you don't like them, you don't have to use them. It's not a big deal. But just in case, you don't have to get all of it. So now if I just kept doing that and I kept repairing it, this thing would just get better and better, but it would also get more expensive to repair it as it gets higher. But eventually this would just be really, really good. So now its stats are, its efficiency is 2.4 and it started at 2. So that is basically the Proliferium tools. All of them will act exactly like that. I don't really think there'd be an advantage to making a hoe because its stats can't really increase. At least not as far as I know. And, you know, swords will get more damaging. Pickaxes and shovels and axes will just get mined faster and faster. And I think a pickaxe's harvest level, which is what kinds of things it can harvest. So like diamond is the highest because it can mine obsidian, and 0s it can only mine stone. It can't mine anything else. It might be able to mine coal. I'm not sure actually. So I'm not sure if its harvest level goes up after a while, but since it's saying that, I'm guessing it will. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all there is to Minor Alchemy. It's not the biggest mod in the world, but you know, it's Minor Alchemy, and it's pretty big. It's good enough for our minor little alchemy. And I hope you enjoyed this mod review. Hope it was informative and entertaining. And you're like, whoa, I can alchemize! And that's not even random, because you can alchemize. Whoa, piggies. These piggies just want to be like alchemisticians now. Right, alchematician? And I'm just being random now. So that's probably means it's time to end off. So go give the mod a download. Try it in your survival world. Or if you think it's like too OP for transmuting, that's fine. It's not for everyone. And that pig's swirling around. He's making swirled pig ice cream. Except there's no ice and no cream. Download link in the description. And, ooh, is this almost done? Not even close. I am back, and I actually just did a little bit more mining with this thing, and its name actually changed to Deteriorate. I'm not sure if it would change anymore if I like got even lower, but you can see that it's really degraded. It's so slow. Like, you wouldn't even believe how slow it was. I guess I can demonstrate. But hopefully now, when I repair it, it should be just Speedy Gonzalez. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's like worse than a wood pick. And also, after I test out that, we'll just take a look at what the arbitrator produced. So 3.4, that's more than 3 times as fast, and it's basically 1.5 times as fast as it was at full durability when we started. Oh, that's pretty good. That's like a stone pick-ish. And that was like a 10-minute mining trip, maybe. So if you just use this for a while, then you could probably get a pretty good pick pretty fast. So now, the arbitrator produced using like a jillion CV 3 golden apples. Well, those aren't even the good kind. I don't know, guys. I don't think I'd recommend, because that was a lot of CV. That's not even close to worth it. So unless you just have a bunch of resources and you just feel like gambling, I wouldn't really recommend this thing. Or maybe for some lower tier things might be better. But yeah, that's all there is to Minor Alchemy. In fact, that's all there was to Minor Alchemy a while ago. I was just showing you some random stuff, like how good this can be and how random this can be. And with that, guys, I'll see you later.